I'm doing Ramble here today. I'm a little out of it. Sorry, I'm going to talk about a bunch of stuff. Some mental health stuff in here. Quickly talk about the World Series. And then the usual stuff. Yeah, World Series ended last night. 7 games. Dodgers went back to back. Blue Jays kind of blew it. They did blow it. I think they're up 3-0 in that. Well, they're up 3-2 in the series. Both teams didn't play well at all. Dodgers 1-2. Blue Jays 1-3. So the Dodgers have that, the feel of that Yankees team from the late 90s, early 2000s. The Yankees team went 4 or 5. They won the one in 96, then 97, 98, 99. And they went to the 4 in a row, and they lost the one to the Diamondbacks. They have they're clutch, that's the thing. And it's kind of interesting. Well, not interesting. If you're a fan of the Dodgers, it's kind of... Now, yeah, they got the great players and shit. They paid a bunch of dudes, similar to the Yankees and other teams, throwing money at everybody. Mets do it, too. A lot of teams do it, right? But you saw them go from absolutely not clutch. They've been good for a while. Like, if you look at the streak they've been on, they lost the 2 World Series. Did they lose? Oh, they lost the Red Sox and the Astros, right? 2020 they won. I don't count that. No matter who won, that shouldn't even have been a World Series. They should have done like a tournament, like a weird different tournament. I think that was a wasted opportunity to do something different, right? But they would lose a lot of the big games for a while. And then they broke through in 2020, but like I said, that was... Whoever won that year was not going to be legit. It's legit, but it's just 60, But with the Yankees one was simple. This was a fantastic World Series. Listen, these teams clearly were evenly matched. 2 went extra innings. 1 went, the 18. There were some blowouts in there as well. Yamamoto. He won the MVP. He should have. He pitched that 1 complete game, then he was incredible again. He literally was the difference in the series. In reality, was him. I apologize for my fiance's got a cough, so you're probably hearing that. But you saw them go from losing NLCSs, losing in the World Series, losing to teams like the Diamondbacks in NLDS. Not to say these teams are big. Baseball's like that too, This is the first repeat champion in 25 years. But like I said, it was a fantastic series. Like I said, there's some blowouts, some tight games. The Dodgers had to come back in the 2 extra inning games, I believe. The Blue Jays are up 3-0 in this game. Listen, you blew it. At the end of the day, you have to get that done. But you're not there yet. You know what I'm saying? And the Dodgers are that team, like that Yankees team and other teams as well. That's kind of, even the Giants team from not too long ago. They didn't go back to back, but they won 3 in 4 or 5 years or something. You just get it done. The Dodgers just get it done right now. The Blue Jays will be, I don't know if they'll be back, but they'll be in the playoffs again. They got a great team. Guerrero was incredible in the fucking playoffs. They got a good team. Their relievers, I guess they need some help in relief because they blew a couple of leads here, but Dodgers back-to-back, congrats to them. And congrats to the Blue Jays as well. Like I said, talk about 2 evenly matched teams. You go 7, 2 go extra innings, 1 goes 18. This one only went 11 last night. And you, like I said, the first game was a blowout. I can't remember. The Dodgers won 6-1 in a blowout in one of the games, I believe. I think 3-1 or something was the second game. Then there was tight games. It was a good series. It had a lot of everything, right? Hell of a series. Sucks if you're a Blue Jays player, a fan of the team, because you were right there. I think they tied the game in the 9th. The Dodgers, and there was 1 out in the 9th. Which, you know what? You could sit here and say blue, but you gotta play the full thing. Runs happen in the 9th inning. Just because, let me talk about this real quickly. I'm talking longer than about this than I thought I would. Because I didn't watch any of it. I saw some highlights, but I didn't watch any. I don't have any interest in watching any of the World Series, regardless of who's in it. Baseball is like my least interesting of the main sports, and even I'll put it behind soccer now too. I like to pay attention to it, but I don't. Like I said, I'm a Yankees fan, but I don't give a flying fuck what the Yankees do. Like, I thought it was comical the way they lost the World Series last year in that Game 5 with all their fucking errors. Yeah, they'll be like, oh, you blew it, right? Or somebody blew this game. Listen, runs could happen in the ninth. What's the difference between scoring in the ninth and scoring in the fourth? Like, are the pitchers mysteriously supposed to get guys out in the ninth inning, but in the fourth, if they fucking botch it, it's different, right? You know, like, runs can be scored through the ninth inning. That's the point. You would just end the game after the eighth inning if that was the case, right? But great series. Congrats to both teams. Dodgers go back to back. Blue Jays, great season. They're going to be back in the playoffs anyway. They have a good team, so. And they have, if their franchise didn't win the back-to-back back in the 90s, you would be like, oh, and it still is a blown opportunity. But I do think the Blue Jays will get back if they keep the players that are good, and they'll probably get back to the World Series. And the Dodgers are going to be competing as well. There's a good chance they go back because in the NL, they're kind of the team right now. The Phillies should be there, but the Phillies just can't get it done for whatever reason. And the Brewers are another team that they've proven that they can't take the next step. The Padres are another team that can't take the next step. You know, maybe the Mets too. I mean, the Mets went backwards after having a surprise season where they went to the NLCS. They bounced back and missed the playoffs by a game. They'll be back in the mix though, but they're another one that, you know, the Dodgers right now are the team in the NL, and because they're clutch, they're more clutch than any of those other teams. They've proven they could take the step and do what it takes. I think the AL's more wide open. There's a lot of good teams in the AL. There's a little more parity in the AL, in terms of who's making the title, the championship. Although there was in the NL too. But anyway, enough baseball, enough sports. I'm almost through that Night Sister book. I think I got like 100 pages left, maybe a little less. I'm flying through that one. That was in my book haul. I like it. It's really good. It's a cool book. It keeps you like wanting to get to. And sometimes I will say with books, and this goes for all books in reality, or most, it almost is like, let's get to it, because you want to get to what you know is coming, and you want to see how it plays out. And sometimes I feel like books in general will drag a little bit. But it's really good. I might talk about it in a video when I'm done with it. Not like a book review. I might review it in a Ramble or something, but I'm not going to do dedicated book reviews. That video did do pretty good. I had to put it up 2 in the day. My views are down. Like, I'm getting concerned. I gotta I'm putting up this Ramble. It might go a little long. I want to see if some of these certain videos are immune to the slump that my channel's in. Because I've been putting up some videos that I know won't necessarily do. Not that their videos are doing awful outside of the typical ones that I know will do bad. But I'm trying to build them back up, the views back up. So I put up the 2 videos yesterday. And the views went up a little bit. They went up like by 400, I think. But it's funny, I didn't put up a video on the 30th of October. And it was like this. My views were like nice and steady. Then it was like, meow. So that tells me a lot of my videos are not having the staying power that they had. Even at the beginning of October. They don't have the staying power right now that they had then. But, we'll see. See what I can do. Like, this Ramble and be doing an eating video during the week. I gotta dip into my dip my hand into those heavy hitters, man. Better do it in McDonald's eating video or Burger King. Do a Ramble here and stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna do a video game collection at the moment because I just did a bunch over the summer. I'll probably do another PS5 in the new year because I'll have a couple other games. But it's funny when I think about that. I'm like, yeah, I'm like there's certain videos I kind of, get it done to maybe just build those views back up. I'll see where I'm at with this one. Now it's either a couple of things. You guys aren't interested. I have to play off what I have, the base I have, or I'm just not getting pushed, and then I have to recalculate my numbers and my goals for every month. I still ended up having a pretty solid October. It really kind of started like the last week of October. I noticed it, and I was like, oh. And I gotta say, sometimes that's why I put up a heavy hitter, and I see if that views well still. I'm like, all right, here we go. It might just be, I gotta go by the interests of you guys, and I always want to do what's best for my channel, what's gonna get me the most views and everything else. A couple other things too. I am gonna in the new year be doing join memberships on here or a Patreon. I'll put a poll of that up before the end of the year, probably this month. I don't know. If you guys have any interest in that, let me know. But I will do one of them. And there's different, I have different plans for however it goes. What else? Oh, I forgot. I mentioned in another video, but I don't know if people watched it now. In the Creepy Stories video. I'll say it again here. I forgot to talk about the music and the sound effects in Silent Hill F. They're incredible. It was Akira Yamaoka, and another guy did the music. I think they split maybe the Dark Shrine area and the Outer World type thing. Either way, sound effects were great, and the music was fantastic in that. I want to do another playthrough, but I don't want to do it immediately. And I didn't touch on that enough, I think, in my review either. It's frustrating that that's just the ending everybody gets in that game, kind of forcing a second playthrough to fill in the gaps. That's kind of annoying to me because I don't want. A lot of people don't care and they'll immediately start another playthrough. I'm not like that with games. I typically don't finish a game and then immediately want to start a new one. I usually go on to something else and I go back to it. So it's kind of annoying because I touched on your character goes through so much. You want a little bit of or at least know the reason you got a certain ending. But no, it's just at the ending everybody gets. So it's I want my character it's like a downer ending. You want there to be, maybe a little bit of a gleam of hope. But I still did like it all. Like I said, I gave it an 8. I could see that game getting anywhere from 6 to a 9 or an 8. I was reading some reviews on Metacritic, and even people just going out of the way to give it a 10, but people giving it a 1. That game would not be a 1 in any world. Maybe the lowest I could see it going is a 5. Or a 4. But a 1... And come on now. I feel like people are doing that just because there was already a hatred for it before it even came out. And that goes with any game. Same thing with people just giving it 10s, blindly giving it 10s. No, it's not, in my opinion, worthy of it. But, you know what? I'm also not one to tell you what you should review it, but I feel 1s are what? To me, a game that's a 1 is literally unplayable and broken. That's how I look at it, at least. But, yeah, the music was great. And the sound effects were fantastic in that game. Another thing I didn't bring up, I forgot, I always do. The combat. When you hit the enemies with your weapons, there is a nice impact to it. It feels good. It has a good feel of combat. And the weapons between heavy and light weapons, you can feel it with Hanako, doing it. Yeah, this one's more of a struggle, the axe or the sledgehammer. It feels weighty and stuff. Sort of heavier weapons feel weighty and stuff. And their impact feels greater. But great game. I still enjoyed it. I like Silent Hill 2 Remake more, but as long as that game was going to be good, I was going to like it more than pretty much any survival horror game anyway, because the original's my favorite, so... thanks to the people that said, mentioned, because I mentioned in the book haul video that I wanted to, if people liked it, let me know, and I'll do a book collection. So I will do a book collection, not maybe next month. I do want to get a couple more books, because I have my eye on some others that I want to talk about, that I would put in that video, so I don't want to do it, and then get 4 or 5 more books a couple weeks later, and be like, ugh. I wanted to do some. Oh, I need to get into mental health stuff. I'm getting like worked up. Not worked up, but I'm getting revved up. No energy drinks needed. See, that's the funny thing. Is like sometimes with the energy drinks, you'll see me like some of them like perk me up even over the course of the video, and then I don't need that sometimes. If I'm like just ready to go, I'm a little manic too. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm a little hyper, but also feel kind of like ugh. I wanted to get out and do some yard work today, but I'm just not feeling up to it. I gotta clean the litter box and I gotta do some dusting around the house. I'm going to the doctor again on Tuesday. We'll see if they're gonna take blood again, so we'll see if the results of my higher cholesterol I don't know if I mentioned all that. And my slightly elevated liver enzymes, if there's a drop in some stuff, they're like just pumping me through blood the past 3 times I've been there since I don't care when blood gets taken. I'm just like, some people I know don't like needles. I'm just like a lot of the times I'll watch it going up into the thing. Well, the second time it hurt. Like the first time it didn't hurt at all. Second time was a nasty pinch, and then it really stung. I was surprised by that. But I was also a little off that day too, so I was kind of just like, then I'll probably either go into town or go over to the mall again. Because where the doctor is, the mall is like a 15-minute walk. And going into town is like maybe a little under 20, maybe about 18, 19-minute walk. I didn't go into town last time because they were paving the road that leads between, I think it's Salisbury Street. So I walked around a little bit, the little back area, then came up and went to the mall. So I will do that again. One of the two. I'm filming this Sunday, obviously Sunday morning. The clocks did go back. But I was thinking about going into town today to go to the antique stores, but I'm not feeling it. I've been really just, like, my fiance is going to do this thing. People she knows, I guess they're doing like a gathering and a bonfire or something. She's asking me if I want to go. She's like, I think I'm going to go. And I'm like, honestly, and I was completely honest. I was like, and this is part of the mental health thing. I'm like, I'm so detached right now from wanting to be around groups of people that I don't know. Then you got to answer the usual questions. What do you do? This, that. I've never been a fan of that. And I'm not a fan of gatherings and being around a lot of people to begin with. But when I'm not feeling it up here, I'm really just going to completely zone out and just not be into it at all. And part of me feels bad, but I gotta be honest about it. I don't want to put myself in that position if I'm not feeling it, because it's going to make me miserable and just get unnecessary panic and anxiety. I've just been, feeling off for a bit. You feel a bit lost and stuff. And, usually it settles back in, but like I said, throughout, not my whole life, but that's another thing I want to touch on. It's funny because I go back to like when I first started to really get like bad anxiety and panic attacks and stuff. Like even when I was maybe around like 7th, 8th grade, I started to get to that point where, like when I was in elementary school, like I was more like inclined or like do things, participate in. I'm not talking about like sports and stuff, but like, oh, you got to get up in front of the class and do this. Like I was more inclined to be able to do that and handle that better. And then something at some point clicked where I did not want to do that and I dreaded it, which I know a lot of people do. That's not an uncommon thing. But I still wasn't panicking anxiety. I would still be doing stuff. I still had my fear of like, I don't like confrontation. I talked about this too, and stuff like that. And fear of fucking up and stuff. I was better with it when I was much younger, and then, I get into confrontations, I just don't want to because it sticks with me for so long. Because it's not how I behave. So when I lash out, even if I'm in the right, which usually I am because it pushes me to point confrontation, that means I'm getting pushed or someone said something really fucked up. And I'm like, no, I'm defending myself at the very least. And sometimes, admittedly, when I do lash out at people, I get like very cruel, and I feel awful about that too. And that's me just spouting shit out. It's almost like unconsciously just doing it, and then I immediately regret it. So I don't like to do it even if I'm in the right. Even if I'm not insulting people in retaliation or something. I just don't want to do it, even if I'm in the right, because I feel like it's not me and it shouldn't be handled that way. Even though that I should get past that, it's just that's how I feel. I'm 46. I'm not, and I've gone to therapy over the years. The last time I went, well, I would have started this channel at that point. I think I first went, I would have first went before I started the channel. I think, might have been January 16. But I went for a couple of years, and then I was still talking. They were almost like pushing me out of it, which was funny. I would go like once a week, and then they're like, "Oh, you can come in like twice a month." And it was like once a month. Then the COVID shit hit, and it was just like over the phone anyway. It was kind of like, "How are you doing? How's things?" And then they had moved to a different place. And I was like, I'm done. I'm not going to be living here that much longer. So if I wanted to get back, I'm not going up to Bethpage. It was in Seaford originally, and I was able to get there by train very easily. I would be able to get to Bethpage, but a little more complicated. And I was like, whatever. We were doing over the phone stuff for a bit anyway. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm good. We'll call it here. Because you don't get the same kind of like over the phone than you do in person. I feel like it's different in person. You're kind of saying your stuff, and it's a little more intimate, if you want to use the word, than over the phone. But I've gone, I think the first time I was in 9th grade. I went to a psychologist, and then again in 12th, the end of 12th grade through out of high school for a little bit. And then I think I had gone one other time in my 20s. I cannot remember, though, fully. But, what the hell was I talking about? I was talking about that, but... I wanted to talk about, when my panic anxiety set in. Anybody who suffers from this, if you can kind of point your finger and really hone in on the time it actually happened. Like when you feel yourself, like throughout high school, I didn't really have panic and anxiety. Like I said, I didn't like confrontation, but and fear of failure and fucking up. But if it happens, it happens. Like you go through it, you push through it. I never had panic and anxiety. Typically, on top of that, not to the extent it happened till 12th grade. All of a sudden, like something changed in me mentally. I started to feel like such crap. Like I must have had my first panic attack, and all of a sudden, like it set off a chain of events where I was just like in panic mode, anxiety for like the second half of 12th grade. Was sucked from that perspective. Like it sucked. I felt different physically and mentally. I was getting these attacks and everything, and I was just, I was starting to get, I would get migraines before that, but I was starting to get them badly. I think I talked about the one I had gotten. That was just terrible. I thought, the back of my head, I thought it was done. I got to go to the hospital and shit, but got past that one. But it's funny when you see it happen, it's like, oh my God. Like I said, I went to therapy after that as well. See, I went in 9th because I had the problem with going to school. So I guess... yeah, you know what? I would get the panic when I went to school and stuff. So I guess I really could go back to 8th grade when it happened. I got past that, but it still wasn't... It wasn't necessarily anxiety. It was more panic and fear, but not I don't know, it's hard to describe. But I still, here's the thing, I would get it then in 8th grade, and then I got over it, and then 9th grade happened again. And I was better through high school. I was in the alternative program too, but I was better through high school. But I didn't have the feeling that I had at 12th grade. It changed, my whole, everything, aura, whatever you want to call it, changed. I didn't have that in 8th and 9th. When I stopped going to school and I dreaded going to school, it was a fear thing. Like I've said in the past on this channel, I could have known every single person in school and been comfortable, and it just wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. There was something there. But I didn't feel differently even going through that. This was different. And I was in a better place mentally, and then all of a sudden it was just and then I felt awful, physically and mentally. I was like, oh my God. You almost, I was to say, you pinpoint the moment where, you're like, oh my God, this is how it's going to be going forward. A literal change in what what you actually are as a person has now changed. It's like almost like and like this is how it's gonna. And it was like that for a while. Like I knew it. I was like, is this how it's gonna be for me forever? And then over time, it kind of goes away, but it's still there. But you learn to deal with it, and it becomes what you are. You know, it's like adjusting to something when you don't even know you're doing it. Because I had moments like I remember when I must have still been 19. Something happened. I was walking home from my friend's house. I talked about this too, and all of a sudden I thought I was going to fall into nothingness, and I was in a zone fog, terror, anxiety for like a couple of months. Then it kind of just, one morning it was just gone. It's wild, man, you know. And I should have turned the gain down on this a little bit. I don't know how high it is. Oh yeah, it's pretty high. It's got to be picking all that up. And the walls in this house are like, they got to be paper thin. Like, it's ridiculous. I should have went in the garage, but I wasn't in the mood to do a garage ramble. But and then it comes back. You know, this is different now, though. It's more like a lost feeling, which I typically don't encounter often. My listless, not depressed, but like listless and lost and just not right up here to where the problem is, like I said, you don't have your friends down here and stuff, and I'm not great at making friends, especially as you get older. I was when I was much younger, and then I had my friends, and it was fine. And then you were like making friends with the friends you already had, so you're adding people into the mix, you know what I'm saying? Like going out and doing that as you get older, it's like it's harder for me, and then I get more detached. Thank God I have the videos to make and stuff, and it's kind of like chatting with everybody and stuff. I chat with my friends through text and stuff, and I'm gonna have to turn this off soon because it's distracting me now. But what was I saying? It like I said, you distance yourself, not from like, I'm not distancing myself from my fiance and stuff, but it's like I don't care now to do that. You know, it's almost like in my bubble type thing, and you know, which isn't good either. I just feel off too, you know. I feel off. Like everybody gets this, right? You know, you feel like something's just off, and then maybe all of a sudden, yeah, you're back to normal, right? I think not having my friends here stuff, and I knew this was gonna happen, and I didn't know how long it would take where I would get that feeling. Like, okay, yeah, you know, you feel more isolated and stuff. But I think if I can make the videos, and you know, the people I talk with on Instagram, the people I talk to on Instagram stuff, I appreciate all that as well, you know, because at least you're connected in a sense, you know. You gotta take that, you know. But like if we see our cousins or, you know, our dad and his fiance and stuff, it's fine. I'm always fine there. It's just, you know, going, it's like, I don't know these people. I'm gonna have to interact with them and do the usual banter and stuff, which I can't fucking stand. How's things going here? How's this? What's that? I like to talk about, like, you throw in some sports or something, but like somebody starts talking about like kind of Stranger Things and weird, not the show Stranger Things, but like different types of things and stuff. I'm like, yeah, let's, all right, now I'm in my wheelhouse. I want the conversation to be a little weirder. But yeah, it's just some mental health shit. Stuff that other people go through too. This is not unique to me or anything. But it's like you almost get a little too comfortable in isolation, and that's not like a good thing, you know. Or being more isolated. It's not like, you know. And it's such a difference too between Long Island and here. Like I said, in Long Island, I just leave the house. I'm around people. That's the thing. Sometimes you just want to be around people, even though you're not interacting with them. They're there, you know. You're going out and interacting in the real world. The problem is I stopped doing that less, and then I'm more isolated. But yeah, just some of that. Anything else I want to touch on? No, laptop's making noise. Have I watched anything recently? Have we watched? Oh, we watched Good Boy. It was good. It's the movie through the POV of the dog. Like the guy, there's like a haunting, and the guy with the guy's owner, the dog's owner, and he's like, it's through the eyes of the dog, kind of. It was good. It was different. A little. The story was a little just kind of like, bleh, but it was still cool. It was different. What else was there? We finished up Gen V. I gotta say, I was staying with Gen V, where it's, like The Boys. It's just almost to the point where it's just over the top on purpose and ridiculous on purpose. I gotta say though, the second half of Gen V was much more serious, so I appreciated that. It still had a little bit of the goofiness, but it was kind of serious and stuff, which I appreciated, so that was fun. Ended up being a decent season. The washing machine is also on. We still gotta finish up Tulsa King's not done yet. That's been a pretty good season. What else was did we watch another movie? Maybe we didn't. Did we watch something else? I can't remember. I did not watch the Aston Villa game. They did lose to Liverpool 2-0. I'm not going to be doing the recaps this week. I'm just honestly not in the mood to. Now, it's not really with the Premier League. There's 38 weeks of it, so it's not as big a deal. If I skip some, I would not be doing all of them. I don't know what that sound is. I'm going to have to cut this short. I gotta just film during the week when there's less noises. Film more during the week, but anyway, we'll call this like a half-hour ramble. Oh, it is a half hour. I completely forgot what I was gonna say. But anyway, like I said, I'm a bit off, and then outside things, then I get really flustered quicker. And I forget quicker. But anyway, it was just a ramble, mental health, all types of stuff, little sports stuff and the other things. But thanks for checking this out, and have a good day.